Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Pac Man, played on the 3DS Virtual Console. What more is there to say about Pac Man than has already been said? I mean, pretty much everyone knows that Pac Man is the best-selling arcade game. We know that he made a cameo in Super Smash Bros. Recently. He's one of the most iconic video game characters in history, apart from Mario and Sonic. And his spin-offs have been much, much, much worse than his original Dot Gobbler in 1980. Not much has changed in this case. This is pretty much a straight-up handheld emulation of his arcade experience, based on the NES adaptation. Honestly, I was originally going to try to beat the entire experience first before I reviewed it, since the 3DS Virtual Console introduces a restore point system where you can save literally anytime you want, and then go back to that if you make a mistake. But considering that the game has barely any story, I realized that there's not really much point, because there's only one maze, and the only real difference that ever happens as you progress through the game is that the AI for the ghosts that chase you get smarter. Pac Man has no offensive abilities, instead he sort of moves along in a track of inertia, like, you know the law, an object in motion will stay in motion until stopped. That's Pac Man for you. He just continues running along that path, even if it'll walk him straight into a ghost, until he hits a wall. Yeah, real great logic there, Pac Man. I wonder if the makers of his game were goat herders. Anyway, you have to have lightning fast reflexes in this game, because a lot of times I would find that as I'm navigating the maze, my control pad wouldn't always register my motions in time, so a lot of times I had to learn to say which direction I was going in before I actually went there. Thankfully, the one thing Pac Man has to his advantage are the two sides of the maze let you go to the other side. And you can also grab power pellets to make the ghosts turn blue, and then you can eat the ghosts to make them temporarily retreat. And also when they're blue, they tend to move slower, so it's easier to catch up to them. And they also move away from Pac Man. Your objective is to eat all of the dots on the map. And then sometimes if you eat special fruits, you'll get more points. And if you get enough points, you get an extra life. Rinse and repeat. Not really too much variety here. Your ultimate goal, I guess, because the game doesn't have much story, is to marry Mrs. Pac Man, but since the two of them don't have any legs, I'm kind of curious how that would play out. I mean, how do they hug each other? Do they just like, wow, 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 against each other? Pac Man is a decent game on the Virtual Console. It's fun to pick up and play, and because it only has one level, it pretty much has both infinite and finite replay value at the same time. You can always try to hone your skills as you continue progressively avoiding the ghosts, or you can have a quick glimpse into what started the whole arcade trend and why Pac Man made such a huge, like, oh my gosh, it's awesome, when he was revealed to be a playable character in Smash Bros. And give you some incentive to buy the 3DS version, because they have an amazing stage representation of the maze that's not in the Wii U version of Smash Bros. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and until my next video, keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye.